Hi, this is Trey Pass. I want to give you a review of a movie I watched. I actually came in, I think I came in like 15 minutes in to when the movie was starting. I was flipping the channels and I got to Turner Classic Movies and I started watching this black and white movie. I didn't know the title of it at first, but I started watching. It seemed to be about a bunch of women and stuff in New York, and they were going through divorces and stuff, and a lot of gossiping, a lot of cat fights and all this stuff. And I kept watching it. It interested me because I recognized the first thing I think I recognized in the movie was Rosalind Russell because she has a very distinctive voice. It's kind of kind of a deep voice, and she has she has a certain kind of mannerism about her, Rosalind Russell. So I recognized her at first, and then I saw Joan Fontaine. I noticed her, okay, and then I noticed Joan Crawford. Okay, that was the other person I noticed, and the other actress that I noticed, which I got her totally wrong. I thought it was what's the lady that used to be on From Here to Eternity? I can't remember her name now. Donna Reed. Now I thought it was Donna Reed, but that wasn't Donna Reed. It was actually Paulette Goddard, who was the woman I know. But anyway, this is a movie that actually I found out eventually after watching the movie the rest of the way through. This movie is called The Woman. It's 1939 film, black and white film. Based on the stage play that came out in 1936, and it was directed by George Cukor, and it came out in 1939. And this movie's about 2 hours and like I think 11 or 15 minutes, something like that. But this movie is absolutely fantastic. And of course, if you watch the movie as you go along watching the movie, okay, like I said, this is going to have spoilers in it anyway, so it'll be in the title. So don't worry about that if you want to watch it. The thing about this movie is that there's no men in the movie at all, and like the play, there was no men in the play either, and so there's no men in the movie either. And I didn't notice that at first until there was a couple of characters talking, having conversations and stuff, and then you were expecting to see like a man or something, but there's no men at all. Then as it went along, I said, wait a minute, they're deliberately not showing any men in the movie. And then I said, oh, okay, maybe that's the thing. There's no men in this movie. And it's all about the women, and it is. And it's a really good movie. Like I said, Norma Shearer, she plays Mary Haynes. She's like the main character. And I guess she's a big star. I haven't heard of her that much, but I think she was a big star back then. And I know she was married to this famous producer. I forgot the producer's name, but she was married. And so she was a star back then. And, of course, Joan Crawford is Joan Crawford. Everybody knows who Joan Crawford is. And Rosalind Russell, who, like I said, she's a very good actress, a very distinctive voice. And I just... And I just knew her. She was the first person I recognized because, again, she was talking like a mile a minute, and she got a very distinctive voice. And then Joan Fontaine, I noticed her too. And then, of course, Paulette Goddard, who I thought for some reason was Donna Reed. She looked like Donna Reed to me, but of course that's not her. And it's basically about women gossiping and divorce and New York society and women and women being catty to each other and stuff. And it's all about the women. Like I said, Joan Crawford, her character, she plays Crystal Eye. She's like I guess, her character is like a homewrecker, I guess, that you could kind of say. Her character's a homewrecker. Norma Shearer, like I said, she plays Mary Haynes. She's like the main character who's like married to a guy, and she has a daughter, and her husband is stepping out apparently with Joan Crawford's character. Okay, and Rosalind Russell is like the cousin. I think she's the cousin of Norma Shearer's character, and she finds out what's going on, and she's like, spreading the gossip and stuff. And there's a great confrontation between Mary Haynes, Norma Shearer's character, and Joan Crawford's character, Crystal Island. And a great conversation with them. And back then, not so much now, I think. When anybody wanted a quick divorce, they had to go to Reno. And I think you had to stay overnight, and then you could get a divorce. I think that's the way it was back then. But like I said, there's a lot of back and forth. Like Joan Fontaine, she plays a character she's working, and her husband doesn't like her working. She's earning her own money, and of course, you have to think of the times, I guess. And her husband is very kind of chauvinistic, and he doesn't really want her to work, and so she's getting a divorce from him for that. And then Paulette Goddard's character, I think she's having an affair actually with Rosalind Russell's husband, and she's up there as well at the place they go to get these divorces and stuff. And it's like I said, it's a back and forth of cattiness, but it's much more than that. It's just you have sharp dialogue in this movie, great performances from all the characters. Again, Rosalind Russell to me she just stands out because she's just so she's like a tornado in terms of a character. She like she's talks a mile a minute, and she's you know playing both sides against the middle all the sometimes and stuff. Except when it affects her, there's a great fight scene between her and Paulette Goddard when she finds out that she's the one that's sleeping with her husband, and it's just this movie is just absolutely fantastic to watch. And like I said, if you want to watch it, you can. I think you can rent it on YouTube. I think it's streaming on Amazon. I watched it on Turner Classic Movies, so I'm sure it's probably on Turner Classic Movies probably for the rest of this month. I just happened to catch it yesterday. Like I said, Norma Shear, she's like the main character, the most sympathetic character in a way to this movie. Joan Crawford, she plays the other woman, and she plays she doesn't she's taking no guff from anybody. She plays her character tough, okay. And who else? I'm trying to think. Joan Crawford, Joan Fontaine is her character is kind of meek and nice, and she becomes fast friends with Norma Shear's Mary Haynes character, and they kind of bond and stuff. And it's just, and you have also all these other side characters on this as well. Like I said, this movie has no men in it at all. All the characters in this movie are women and stuff, and it doesn't detract from it or anything else. It's, like I said, it's based on the play. And this movie, again, directed by George Cukor, and this movie is absolutely fantastic. I definitely recommend this movie. I wish they do I don't know if they have a Criterion on this movie. They definitely should do a Criterion collection on this movie. I think because none of the actors, unfortunately, are alive yet. I think Joan Fontaine was the last actress that was in this movie. I think she died in 2013. So it's a shame that they couldn't. But maybe they do have past interviews from people. I think they probably do. And so this is a type of movie that they should definitely do a Criterion collection about this movie, because this movie is absolutely fantastic too. The cast is fantastic. The acting is fantastic. The dialogue, the direction is great in this. This is definitely one of these. I know they said they remade this movie in 1988 with Meg Ryan. I don't even remember that movie, to be perfectly honest. I saw the poster for it, and I recognized the actors, and I may have seen it in passing, but I don't remember it that much. But because I think it was written and directed by Diane English, who used to do Designing Women. I think she was the one that was behind Designing Women. So I guess they got her to try to remake it. But a lot of people said the remake doesn't hold a candle to it. I haven't seen that. But this movie, to me, is a classic. Okay, definitely recommend it. It's a 1939 film, black and white. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes, but this movie is sharp, and it's not too long or boring. It moves. The performances are fantastic. Again, Rosalind Russell, to me, is the standout in this, because she's absolutely like a ball of fire. There's a great sequence, too, with her. Who was the other actress? Her and who else? Who was it? I think it's Joan Fontaine. He's doing these whacking. The lady's trying to get them to exercise and do calisthenics and stuff, and they're gossiping back and forth in the middle of trying to do all these exercises and stuff. And it's absolutely hysterical. And again, like I said, there's a fight between Rosalind Russell's character and Paulette Godet's character when Rosalind Russell's character finds out that Paulette Godet's character is she's the one that's actually having the affair with her husband, and they have a fight at this ranch they go to, Reno, where you go to get those quickie divorces, and they have a fight, and then I think even Rosalind Russell takes a bite out of Paulette Godet's leg and stuff. Again, the movie is just absolutely hysterical to me. It's warm, it's funny, and it's endearing and stuff. And there's a young, actress who plays the Norma Shear's daughter, and I think she's really good too. She's the daughter. I forgot her character, Lucy. I think Lucy, that's her name. And Marjorie May, I think that's the character. She plays Lucy, the daughter. I think that's right. Little Mary. Yeah. I think. Oh, maybe. Hold on. Maybe it's not Lucy. I think it may be Virginia Wilder. Maybe I think Little Mary Haynes. I think that's it. I think that's the character. I'm sorry. I think I mixed that up. Virginia Wilder plays Little Mary Haynes. No. Wait a minute. No. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up. But it's the daughter. Never mind that. The young actress who plays her daughter, I thought she was really good as well. And you have Hedda Hopper's in this movie, believe it or not, in a cameo. I think this is the debut of Butterfly McQueen. She's in this one. I think this is her debut film. I heard they said that as well. So, but again, all female cast, great movie. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I missed a little bit of the beginning. I think like the first 10 to 15 minutes of it. I think I missed that because I came in the middle of it when I started. I was flipping channels and I turned to Turner Classic Movies. And once I started watching it, I got hooked and I couldn't stop, and I watched it to the end. Okay, so this is definitely one of these movies that they definitely should release a Criterion collection with this. And I'm sure they have interviews with the actresses, probably back then and probably later, in later years and stuff, because there's a lot of quotes because I was reading up about this movie and stuff, and you get quotes from like Joan Fontaine, how she talked about how the director George Cukor was and how he it was great on the set, even though there was like tension between a lot of the actors, like between Norma Shearer and Joan Crawford's character. Even in the movie, that characters had tension, but in real life, there was tension between the actors and stuff. But I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, they should definitely do a Criterion collection on this movie, The Women, because it's definitely, to me, it's a classic. And it definitely, I would love to see like the interviews with the actresses and stuff, if they had them, have them filmed at the time and maybe later, in later years, and then reflecting on it and stuff, and this, to give you all the behind the scenes stuff. And it's a really great movie. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely would recommend it to see this movie. It's not a movie that men can't watch or anything. It's a really, even though it's all women, it's a really strong, sharp movie. And it's, again, you get comedy in it. You got the cattiness between the women and stuff and everything. And you got heart in it as well. Some really touching moments as well in this movie. And it's really good with a strong cast. Okay. And I really enjoy it. And again, to me, like I said before, Rosalind Russell, to me, she just stands out. Okay. And she just kills it for me in this movie. Anyway, let me know what you think of the Women if you've seen it. Like I said, it's a 1939 film. You can stream it on Amazon or rent it from YouTube. It's on Turner Classic Movies. That's why I saw it yesterday, so I'm sure it's on probably for the rest of this month. Baidu, something. There's a bunch on a bunch of streaming options to see, because I don't think this movie's on Blu-ray, or DVD. I don't think it is, but I can look that up. But definitely, I would definitely buy this movie. They should definitely do a Criterion collection on this movie, because this movie to me is a classic, and they should definitely do it on this movie, and I would definitely buy it. Anyway, let me know what you think of this movie. Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel, Love Views and Opinions. You check that out as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. I want to say a special thank you to my patrons. Again, my patrons only $5 a month. I have tons of content on there, tons of unedited content on there. Everything from Marvel shows to DC shows to all 4 parts of Zack Snyder's Justice League, The Boys Season 3. I got Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett. Follow link below to the Patreon. Check it out. Also, give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Paul Trade Pastor saying so long, and take care.